Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day. It's Eric, and this is vlog number 2. So, little things going on. So we're back to school now that Thanksgiving is over. We have 2 more weeks to go. And one of the things, because I do commute, I have a 1 hour commute one way, so totals of 2 hours of driving every day I have school. I do listen to many podcasts. I'm going to leave a little bit of a link in the bottom of what my favorites are, but here's the idea that I've been bouncing around my head, and I just have to talk about it. So podcasts are really unique, and I think the form of podcasts are going to change how we disseminate ideas and information. That being said, the quote I really like, which ties into this, is you are the average of the 5 people you associate with most. This can be in the form of mentors or just people you respect or look up to in some way, or they have an idea that you gravitate towards. Maybe not the person, but the idea that they carry around with them is something you believe in. So with that, you now have the ability of podcasts where you have these people who are able to get their idea out there in front of millions and million people with very low cost or no cost behind them usually. And that means you can have this relationship with people and their ideas at a distance without ever actually meeting a person. You have the ability to get who they are as a person and understand them over long periods with long form conversations. So for me, my personal examples are this. I have like 4 or 5 favorite podcasts. Double check my phone so I don't get anything wrong. Number 1, I have Joe Rogan. And I have number 2, Tim Ferriss. What do these 2 people do? These 2 people do not limit their audience in the sense they don't specify to one person or one type of field. They will have anybody and everybody on the podcast, which means they're aggregators of ideas. So now, over the long term, not only because they're the hosts, so you get to understand their viewpoints on life and just different things in general, you get to see who they bring on the podcast and what their ideas, because for me, when I first started a podcast, I didn't understand it. I thought it was like old school radio. But now it's turned to this thing where it's like, oh, wait, there's this new interesting person. I don't know anything about this person, but I'm going to listen to it. Because you know what? I can learn something from that person. And I've come from there and I've stumbled upon the Mixed Mental Arts podcast as an offshoot from the Joe Rogan podcast. And then from Tim Ferriss and also Joe Rogan, I ran into someone like Jocko who is an ex-Navy SEAL. And these people I never would even consider myself following in any way. But then all of a sudden their ideas, they resonate and they make these things that you would never have expected you to hear or listen. And you're able to make this web of mentors in your life. And I'm so busy all the time. I can't have real mentoring problems or people to help me guide me through life. Instead, I have this compass of these people in my ears when I'm listening to them all the time that can guide me through things. And it's not even just them. It's like Tim, who just came out with Tribe of Mentors, shameless plug. He has basically given you the outlet in finding your own mentors. And with that, you can basically take any sort of person that you never would have expected you'd find, because the internet is vast. And then you'd find someone that just resonates with you on a different level. So for me, one I just recently discovered because of this book and Tim's podcast was Tim Urban. He is the runner of the Wait But Why blog, which is a weird way to call it because his blogs are like books for the most part. And they go really in detail, and he just resonates with me, his type of writing and storytelling and just who he is as a person. And these things I would never have guessed. And by having all of these ideas captured in an audio format, meaning I don't have to sit and read it, I can listen to it over and over and over and over again. And this is how I've run a lot of my life in the last, I would say, year and a half. I've come across ketogenic diet, I've come across investing principles, I've come across working out programs, I've come across the beauty of discipline equals freedom from Jocko Willink. I've come across just different ideas from just working hard and appreciating struggle and failure, just thousands of books and things that I would never have thought in my wildest dreams that I could have run across these things. And this is something that I'm super passionate about. And I just think that teaching people in a long form way where you can basically get lost in trying to navigate this world from someone who's lived it in a certain way. And I'm not saying you have to mimic what these people do. It's understanding the distilled wisdom of what they do as a process. And podcasts are a way of unlocking that, because you can do something that's monotonous and boring and whatever, but even if you're not intimately paying attention to it, you can get something out of it. And even if you're not, like I said, 100% paying attention to it, you're still getting something from spoken word. To me, I believe that humanity as a culture, or rather as a species, we initially had spoken stories, oral traditions. And podcasts are a way of tapping into those oral traditions. And being able to, because we can intuitively understand speech patterns and recognize and get ideas from them and get your own opinions on things and develop your own worldview. And I think that's a beauty of what we have today. Not this censorship, but being able to speak about anything and to be able to share it and to listen to it and aggregate all of the best ideas in the world. And so with that, everyone, this is my rant on podcasts and mentors. And I really hope you enjoy this one, because it's been bouncing in my head and I need to get it out here to everyone, because this is super important. And I think podcasts are going to be a tool for my generation that's going to revolutionize like the radio and the television did for generations before. So, see you in the next one, everybody. This is vlog number 2.